Good morning, students. Now let us discuss the isoquant curves. In the earlier video, you have learnt about the isoquant curves. Isoquant shows the all combination of factors that produce certain output. All combination of factors that produce certain output. See, isoquant says when a producer combines all factors of input factors of production, that is all factors all factor inputs by factor inputs, how much the company can produce, whereas an iso cost shows all combination of factors that cost the same amount. Here equal quantity, iso cost is equal quantity, whereas iso cost curve says equal cost. That is, it iso cost establishes that combinations of factors that the cost the same amount, that equal cost. Iso cost means equal cost or equal amount of cost. An iso cost shows the combination of two factors that the factors that cost the same to employ, while the iso cost curves looks like this. Isoquant curves looks like this. They are downwards sloping. If we employ, for example, isocost curves are those curves which they will have the producer will fix certain amount of money. So say the producer, for example, say fixed rupees 50,000. So with this 50,000, what quantities can come? That is, how much labor can come, how much capital can come, how much we need to pay the management fee. Everything will be, the cost of each and every factor must be same and fixed. So this is the basic concept of iso cost. In the isoquant, it shows the firm's desires to produce, but there is no there is no equal money, or there is not enough resources. So, like the consumer, the producer has also to operate under a budget constraint. This picturized by his budget line called isocost line. Here, say there are two things like consumer, producer has also operate under a budget resource constraints. Even for the consumers or for the producers, any type of the resources are, even for the consumers or for the producers, any type of resources are limited. So with that limited resources they have to operate. So if therefore the producer is also having a resource constraint, that is budget constraint. So the producer must have sufficient capacity. This is picturized by his budget line. So this budget constraint is being picturized by a budget line. This budget line is known as these budget lines are known as isocost curves. An isocost line is the locus point showing alternative combination of factors that can be purchased with fixed amount of money. Here you have to observe the statement. Fixed amount of money, alternative combinations of factor inputs. Say for example, if the amount is fixed, that is for example 5,000, and the resources for our example, let us take two resources, labor and capital. So how 50-50, 60-40 or 75-25? How much proportion of equal amount? This 50,000 must not be changed. So this, by doing this, we know that we are doing isocost curves. Cost minimization. What is cost minimization? Here the firm seeks to minimize its cost of producing a given level of output. in order to ascertain cost minimization, the firm seeks to maximize, at ascertainment of cost. The firms need to maximize cost of producing a level of output. Now let us draw this isoquant let us draw this isoquant curves. These curved lines concave to origin are known as isoquant curves. So these are isoquant curves, and those who are sloping downwards are known as isocost curves. The slope of isocost curve, when the change in the factor prices, the slopes of isocost line will change. If the price of labor falls, the firm could buy more of labor, and the line will shift away from the origin. So the slope depends upon the prices of factors of production. Now, these downward slope curves are known as isocost curves. And after knowing about the isoquant and isocost curves, now the given quantity of output may be produced with the different combination of factors. So these are known as isoquant curves. But with the fixed amount of money, how much it can produce is known as isocost curves. In economics, isocost line shows all combination of units which the producer cost at the same amount of money. For the two production inputs, labor and capital, with the fixed unit cost of the input, the equation of isocost line will be like this. Say, for example, for two production units, for the two production units, What are those two production units? Labor and capital. So for the two production units, fixed and fixed cost, that is fixed unit cost of the of input, the equation of isocost line is RK plus WL is equal to C. That is where W is the wage rate of labor. R is the rental rate of capital. The absolute value of the slope of isocost line with the capital plotted vertically and the labor plotted horizontally equals the ratio of unit costs of labor and capital. Let us understand the isocost curves with the help of isocost schedule. The isocost schedule, say for example combination. A, B, C, D, E. Units of capital. Units of capital 86420. Units of labor 036912. Total expenditure. Total expenditure. See, here it is also given as the unit of capital is 15 per unit and the unit of labor is 10. 8 into 15, 8 5s are 40, 8 1s 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is, expenditure is 140. 6 into 15, that is plus 3 into 10, 13. So that is also 120. What you can calculate total expenditure 120 only in any case. This is what the isocost curve says. Isocost curves, the total expenditure will be same, but the units of factors will change accordingly. The units of factor will change accordingly. This is known as isocost curve with the help of isocost schedule.